We should offer prayers to the Bhagavatam. Because Krishna Tulya Bhagavata, Vibhu Sarvashrai Pratishloki Pratyakshri Nanatpakoi, that just as Krishna is Vibhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so also is Srimad Bhagavatam. And just as we offer prayers to Krishna, we similarly offer prayers to Srimad Bhagavatam. So he instructed me to recite a particular set of prayers. And this takes about 5 minutes, and I think if you're on WhatsApp, you've already gotten this, so you can recite together if you like. Narayanam namaskrityam naramschaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayat vedi ramayaneschaiva purane bharate tata adavante chamadye chahari sarvatra giyate Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam. So in Orissa, traditionally all the villages, they have what they call a Bhagavat Tungi. It's a place before television came where everyone would come together every day for entertainment in the evening, and they would hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And so traditionally, before they hear Bhagavatam, they would sing this song. Paramananda he Madhava Padunga Luchi Makaranda Se Makaranda Panakori Anande Bolo Hari Hari Harinka Name Vanda Vela Parikori be chakadola Se chakadolanka paraye Manamo rahu nirantare Manamo nirantare rahu Ha Krishna boli jiva jao Ha Krishna boli jao jiva Moteu dada rada dava Moteu dada rada dava Moteu dada rada dava Dharma projita kaita vota paramonya matsvaram satam Vedyam vastava matta vastu shivadam tapachayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamune Kute Vingavarashvaya Sadjo hridyavarudhyate Trakitibhishu shushu bistakshanat Nigamako pataro galitam valam Shukamukaramitra dravasam yutam Pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam Muhuroho rasika bhuvibavuka Anarto pasamam sakshad Bhakti yogam madhoksaje Lokasya janito vidvams chakre satvata samhitam Yasham vaishayamanayam Krishna Padma Purushe Bhakti Upadyate Pumsha Shoka Moha Bhayapaha Srimad Bhagavatam Paranamamalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsam Ekamamalam Gyanam Param Giyate Tatra Gyana Vairagya Bhakti Sahitam Naiskamyam Avishkritam Tachchin Vansupaten Vicharana Paro Bhaktya Vumuchin Naraha Arto Yam Brahma Sutranam Bharatarta Vinirnaya Gayatri Basharupo So Vedarta Paribrimita Sarva Vedeti Hasanam Sadam Sadam Samudritam Sarva Vedanta Sadam Hi Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate Tadrasam Rita Tripta Shadnam Yatra Sradvachi Kuchit Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swarup Shri Bhagavatam Tate Vedam Shastra Hoite Parama Mahadvam Chari Veda Upanishade Jata Kichu Hoya Tara Arta Lena Vyasa Korila Sanchaya Jai Sutre Jeru Vishaya Vachana Bhagavate Seru sloka nibandhana jivera nisara lagi sutra koilo vyasa mayavadi bhashya shunile hoya sarvanasa jaho bhagavata pada Vaishnavira-stane ekanta shayakara chaitanya charane Bhagavata jainamane sejavana sama tada sasta achijanme janme prabhujan Bolo, bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam, the king of all literature, Canto 7, Chapter 9, Text 26. Please repeat. Kvāhaṁ rajaḥ-prabhava isha tamo dhike smin. Does anybody else have? Kvāhaṁ rajaḥ-prabhava isha tamo dhike smin. I'll recite by myself. Jātaḥ suretara-kule tavānukampā. Na brahmaṇo na tu bhavasya na ramāyā yanme rpitaḥ śirasi padma-karaḥ prasādaḥ. Please repeat. Kva, where? Aham, I am. Rajaḥ-prabhava, being born in a body full of passion. Isha, O my Lord, tamo, the mode of ignorance. Dhike, surpassing in. Smin, in this. Jātaḥ, born. Suretara-kule, in a family of atheists or demons who are subordinate to the devotees. Kva, where? Tava, your. Anukampā, causeless mercy. Brahmaṇa, of Lord Brahmā. Na, not. Tu, but. Bhavasya, of Lord Śiva. Na, nor. Vai, even. Ramāyā, of the goddess of fortune. Yat, which. Me, of me. Rpitaḥ, offered. Śirasi, on the head. Padma-karaḥ, lotus hand. Prasādaḥ, the symbol of mercy. Translation, O my Lord, O Supreme, because I was born in a family full of the hellish material qualities of passion and ignorance, what is my position? And what is to be said of your causeless mercy, which was never offered even to Lord Brahmā, Lord Śiva, or the goddess of fortune, Lakṣmī? You never put your lotus hand on their heads, but you've put it upon mine. Please repeat. O my Lord, O Supreme, because I was born in a family full of the hellish material qualities of passion and ignorance. What is my position? And what is to be said of your causeless mercy, which was never offered, even the Lord Brahmā, Lord Śiva, or the goddess of fortune, Lakṣmī? You never put your lotus hand upon their heads, but you put it upon mine. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prahlāda Mahārāja was surprised at the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord, the Personality of Godhead. For although Prahlāda was born in a demoniac family, and although the Lord had never before placed His lotus hand on the head of Brahmā, Śiva, or the goddess of fortune, His constant companion, Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva, placed his hand on the head of Prahlāda. This is the meaning of causeless mercy. The causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead may be bestowed upon anyone regardless of his position in this material world. Everyone is eligible to worship the Supreme Lord regardless of his material position. This is confirmed in Bhagavad-gītā 14:26. Mam chayo vyabhicārena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitam brahma bhūyāya kalpate. Quote, one who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. End of quote. Anyone who engages in continuous devotional service to the Lord is situated in the spiritual world and has nothing to do with the material qualities, sattva-gun, rajagun, and tamo-gun. Because Prahlāda Mahārāja was situated on the spiritual platform, he had nothing to do with his body, which had been born of the modes of passion and ignorance. The symptoms of passion and ignorance are described in Srimad Bhagavatam 1:2-19 as lust and hankering. Tadara justamo bhava kama lobha dayaschaye. Prahlāda Mahārāja, being a great devotee, thought the body born of his father to be born of passion and ignorance. But because Prahlāda was fully engaged in the service of the Lord, his body did not belong to the material world. The pure Vaishnava's body is spiritualized even in this life. For example, when iron is put into a fire, it becomes red hot and is no longer iron but fire. Similarly, the so-called material bodies of devotees who fully engage in the devotional service of the Lord, being constantly in the fire of spiritual life, have nothing to do with matter, but are spiritualized. Srila Madhvacharya remarks, now it's an interesting thing. Prabhupada here at the end of the purport, he says Madhvacharya quotes the following verses which are mentioned in the Brahmatarka, which he doesn't give a translation for. I'm going to read those verses and go back to this section of the purport, because when Prabhupada says Srila Madhvacharya remarks, he gives a translation there for these verses which follow afterwards. So I'm going to do things a little backward. Please forgive me. Shri Brahma Brahmavidyadi Tri Katat Sri Purustutaha Tad Anye Cha Kramadeva Sada Mukto Smitavapi Hari Bhakto Chatad Gyane Sukhe Chad Nigamena Tu Paratta Swata Karma To Vanakatanchit Tadanyata. And here's a translation. That the goddess of fortune, the mother of the universe, could not get mercy similar to that which is offered to Prahlāda Mahārāja. For although the goddess of fortune is always a constant companion of the Supreme Lord, the Lord is more inclined to his devotees. In other words, devotional service is so great that when it is offered, even by those born in low families, the Lord accepts it as being more valuable than the service offered by the goddess of fortune. That's amazing. I'm going to read that again. In other words, devotional service is so great that when it is offered, even by those born in low families, the Lord accepts it as being more valuable than the service offered by the goddess of fortune. That's pretty amazing. Lord Brahmā, King Indra, and other demigods living in the upper planetary systems are situated in a different spirit of consciousness, and therefore they are sometimes troubled by demons. But a devotee even as situated in the lower planets, enjoys life in Krishna consciousness under any circumstances. Parata sato karmata, as he acts himself, as he is instructed by others. That parata swata karmata you'll see in the verse below, the verse that we just quoted first. Prabhupada's translating it here. As he acts himself, he's instructed by others, or as he performs his material activities, he enjoys life in every respect. In this regard, Madhvacharya quotes the following verses, which I won't quote again, which are mentioned in the Brahma Tarka. Gora graganya gana gocha goloruharam goranga gudatama gopyada kopa briksham Gopalagada ratidam yati singha gora Govinda deshikavaram satatam namami. So, if you can tolerate me, I'd like to read you a little something from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Sa'artha Darshani commentary on this verse. And listen to what he says. It's very interesting. I'm going to read you the Sanskrit. Kincha yadyapi madriso nastiko pyadamas tadapi tvam mam. He says that nastiko padamastadi, adama. There's no one who's fallen. He said, even though there's no one who's fallen as me, still, sarvotama korostate, you've made me the greatest. Even though there's no one as fallen as I. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, this is his explanation, this verse. Even though there's no one as fallen as I, you've made me the greatest. Kripa mahatmyam kim, vana mityaha kahamiti. He says, how can I describe the greatness of your mercy? Yat ya padma-karaḥ mama rpitaḥ san brahmaṇa ityadi. Padma-karaḥ means that the hand. You've taken your hand and śirasi, we have śirasi, right? The head asan. You've put your hand on my head. Rpitaḥ means to put on. San brahmaṇa ityadi. You haven't done that with Lord Brahmā. Ityadi, adi means etc. Other personalities like Lakṣmī Devi and Lord Śiva. You haven't done that with them. It's a very amazing thing. So this is a wonderful verse in Purport for us to meditate on. Prahlāda Mahārāja is a Mahajan. Prahlāda Mahārāja is one of the most exalted persons in the world. But what is his mentality? He thinks, I'm the most fallen. We sing a song quite often in Jagannath Puri and pretty much all of our yatras. I'll sing a few lines with you. And since you probably don't know the song, you can chant Hare Krishna in response. Gauranga karuna koro ami jina hinam jani. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This song, which is accredited to Narottam Das Thakur, probably it wasn't actually written by him, but it's accredited to him. It's very nice Siddhanta. He sings that Gauranga Karuna Koro, Ami Dinahina Jani. He says, that he doesn't say, please give me your mercy. He says, Karuna Koro. Koro means to make. You do this to me. You give me. Because I don't even really want mercy. I'm so bad. So you force this mercy on me. Gauranga Karuna Koro. Why, Mahaprabhu say, why should I give mercy? Because Ami Dinahina Jana. I'm a very fallen person. I don't have anything. And then perhaps Mahaprabhu, he may say, well, there's so many persons who are fallen. Why should I give particular mercy to you? And Narottam Das Thakur replies, Samo pachute prabhu nahi chudhane. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Mosamo patita prabhu. Sama means sarva, or equal. No one. Mosamo patita prabhu. No one is patit. No one is as fallen as me. In fact, nahi tribhuvani. In all the three worlds, you won't find anyone who's as fallen as me. Can we sing this and mean it? When we go out on the street and we see a meat eater, when we see a street person, we see someone dressed in a strange way, can we really feel this person is better than me? Can we really feel that I'm more fallen than that person? Is it possible? What do you think? Is it possible? Do you feel more fallen than them? You don't know. You never really thought about it? You should think about it. What do you think?
Not with this ego.
It's not so easy, is it? But we should think one thing. I'm more fallen. Because although they've never heard about Krishna, they've never gotten the wonderful opportunity that I've gotten through Srila Prabhupada, still, am I taking to this Krishna consciousness? I am such a badma, such a rascal. I'm not behaving nicely at all. I've gotten such an opportunity, but still, my mind is so tamagun, so bad, I still want to be so fallen. This person's better than me. So, mosamo patita prabhu, nahi tribhuvani. In all the three worlds, you won't find anyone as fallen as me. And so then, Narottam continues. Dante trina dori gora, daki he tomara. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He sings it, Dante China Dori Gora, Daki He Tomar. I'm doing kirtan. Daki means to call out. Daki He Tomar. I'm calling out your name, and I'm doing it in a very unusual way. I'm taking grass and putting it in my mouth. Did you ever try to do kirtan with grass in your mouth before? Would it be a very good kirtan? It might not work very well, would it? I mean, it would be kind of strange. Could you imagine? Prabhuji, the Sunday feast program, he hands out grass to everybody. Okay, we're going to have a special kirtan tonight. Everybody put grass in their teeth, and now we're going to sing. What is not going to be neat. So what does it mean? We should understand it has a very deep meaning. Grass is something which is very, very fallen and low. And when we take grass in my mouth, it means that I'm so fallen, I don't have anything to say. It has several meanings. To this day in Orissa, in the small villages, the cultures there, someone does something bad. Maybe they tie up a cow in the hot sun in a summer day, and they forgot to give water to the cow. And they come back after 8 hours or something, and the cow's dead. Oh my God, what did I do? It's a very, very sinful thing. So they have to perform some prayaschit, some atonement for that. So what do? Sometimes they make a garland out of shoes, old shoes, and they put it around their neck. And they take some straw, some grass, and they put it in their teeth. They can't say anything now. And they go door to door. And they just knock on the door, and they just stand there. And people know, oh, this person did something bad. And sometimes they abuse them. Sometimes they might hit them. Somebody tell them, get out of here, go away. Or sometimes, if they're kind, they may give them some rice, little vegetables or something, which the person doesn't ask for. He's just standing there. And whatever they collect unasked for, that's what they'll eat during that day. And they may do this for a few weeks or a month or something, depending on the severity of the sinful thing that they did. So when you put straw in your teeth, it has a meaning. It means that I'm very bad. I'm a very, very fallen person. And it has another meaning also. It means I'm not going to argue. Why didn't you do your homework? The teacher ever ask you like that? Why didn't do the... You tell them, the dog ate it. I was walking to school, and this dog, it was an amazing thing, this big dog jumped on me, and he took my homework and ate it right in front of me. I couldn't believe it, right? We make excuses like that, isn't it? So many people, they make excuses. But when you have straw in your teeth, grass in your teeth, it means no excuse. I accept my punishment. So he says, Dante Trinadori Gora, Daki He Tamar. This is the mood that I call out your name. And it has another meaning. It means my calling out your name is not from the lips, because you can't chant when you have straw in your teeth, right? It means I'm calling out from the heart. Dante Trinadori Gora, Daki He Tamar. Kripa Kori Eshavama, Hridaya Mandire, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So then perhaps Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay, I'll give you some mercy. What do you want? He says, Kripa Kori Esho Amar Hridaya Mandire. I want to build a temple. I mean, that's what you do if you're an ISKCON devotee, right? You're supposed to build temples. That's where in the construction business, right? We might think like that. But Narottam Das Thakur, he says, I want to build a different kind of temple. I want to build a temple in my heart. What's the value of building a temple with bricks and cement if you don't make a temple in the heart? Who cares for your temple of bricks and mortar? We want to make temples in the heart. We want to make everyone's heart into a temple. And then perhaps Narottam thinks to himself, maybe this is bad for me. Just like if you go for a job interview, right? And the guy asks you, what is your qualification? And you tell them, well, to be honest with you, I'm the most useless person in the world. There's nobody more useless than me. Is it a good idea? Probably not a good idea. Let us become angry. Why are you wasting my time? Go away. Get out of here. Right? But Narottam Das Thakur, he's speaking like this to Mahaprabhu. Gauranga Karna Koro, Ami Dina Hina Jani, Mo Samo Patita Prabhu Nahi Tribhuvani. There's no one as fallen as I am. And this is what Prahlāda Mahārāja is saying in this verse. There's no one as fallen as I am. So perhaps Narottam's thinking, this might not be a very good idea. If I tell him like that, then he's going to say, why should I give mercy to you? There's so many other persons who are more qualified. So then Narottam Das Thakur thinks, I better get serious. And he decides to threaten the Lord. Jadiyama pratisne. He says jadi. Jadi, the word jadi means if. Maybe you see how fallen that I am, and then you don't want to give me your mercy. Yeah, jadi doya na koribe. Jadi doya na koribe. Patita dekiya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Patita Pavanama, Kishara Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the Jadi Doya Na Koribe, Doya means mercy. Maybe when you see how fallen I am, Patita Dekiya, then Jadi Doya Na Koribe, say, I'm sorry. You're just too fallen. Why should I give mercy to you, Madhavananda? I see Shamrup, he's very qualified. He should get mercy. Why will they give mercy to you? So Narottam says, that's right, I got a problem. I'm asking for mercy, but there's so many more persons who are more qualified than me. So he becomes very serious. He says, he says that, patita pavana nama kishara lagiya. If you're going to do that, I can understand you don't want to give mercy to me. I'm such a wretched person, and there's much more qualified persons to give mercy to. He said, but if you're going to do that, then we have to change your name. Because everybody runs around and chanting, Patita Pavana Gaura Hari Ki Jai, right? That Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Patit Pavan, he's the deliverer of the fallen. So it's a lie. If you don't deliver me, I'm the most patit. There's no one, Mosamo Patita Prabhu, Nahi Tribhuvani. There's no one as fallen as me in all the three worlds. This is what Prahlāda is saying also in this verse. There's no one as fallen as myself. So, Patita Pavana Nama Kishara Lagiya, we'll have to change your name. Maybe you're Shrestha Pavan. Maybe you're Shamrup Pavan. You're the deliverer of Shamrupa, but you're not the deliverer of the most fallen because you're not delivering me. This is my situation. Porichi Bhavatu Fane Nahi Kansara Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Charana Charani Dane. So perhaps finally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay already, I'll give you mercy. Just stand in the queue. And you look at the queue. The queue is going all the way from Boston to Moscow, all the way from Boston to Vrindavan. It's a long queue. And Narottam Das Thakur says, I can't wait in the queue. Podichi bhavatu fani nahika nistar. I'm going to die. I'm drowning. I'm in the middle of the ocean of material existence, and the waves, there's a cyclone going on, and the waves are bashing me. I'm going to drown. I can't wait for that. Shri Charana Charani Dane Dase Koro Para. You have to save me. Come deliver me with the boat of your lotus feet. And then perhaps Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay already. You can get on the boat. But before you get on the boat, do you have a ticket? If you don't have a ticket, how can you get on the boat? And Narottam Das, I have a very good ticket. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasirana Dasa Shri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. My ticket, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasaranu Das. I'm the servant of your servant. That's my ticket to get on the boat of your lotus feet. Mm-hmm. And how often does Narottam Das Thakur pray like this? Prarthana karo ye sada, Narottam Prarthana karo ye sada, Prarthana karo ye sada, Narottam Das. I'm calling out sada, always calling out in this mood. So this is the mood of Mahatmas. And although Prahlāda Mahārāja, it looks like someone who's born in a very low family. Actually, Prahlāda is the greatest devotee. It's a kind of seeming contradiction that someone looks externally very, very fallen, but internally they're very, very great. I heard a story once in Vrindavan, the historical story. This happened, I don't know, 50 years ago or something. There was one sadhu, learned scholar, who was giving Bhagavad-gītā on a regular basis, and many people were coming to hear his katha. And there was one person coming, when he would come in and sit down, everybody would get up and move away from him, because the guy was just strange, and he smelled bad. He was living on the street. He hadn't taken bath, who knows, maybe a few months or maybe a few years. And people would see him sometimes eating off the ground with dogs. Dogs are also eating there, and he's eating like that also. It was disgusting to those very high-class Vedic kind of people. And so when he would come in and sit down, they would all move away from him. And the person who was doing the katha, he had noticed him, but he never spoke with him or anything. One day, that person who was doing the katha, he happened to be going into the temple of Gopishwar Mahadev. And as he was going into the temple, he saw that strange fellow coming out. And so he thought he'd take a second and just ask him. He said, hey, where do you come from? And he mentioned the name of some very high-class Brahman sasan. Brahman means a Brahman village. In India to this day, the communities are based upon similar occupation, like-minded persons. And he came from a nice Brahmin village, and he said, what is your family? He said, I come from a Sarasvat Brahmin family. Sarasvat Brahmin family is very, very high-class Brahmin family. And this pracharak, the speaker, he said, my God, do you have any education? He said, yeah, I've got a master's degree in science. What are you doing, man? You're living on the street, you're eating with dogs and that. Why do you do like that? And somehow, by Krishna's arrangement, that strange fellow who's living on the street said something which normally he might not say. By Krishna's inspiration, he said, kind of hung his head down, he said, well, if I don't behave like this, then I can't see Krishna. And that pracharak, that speaker, he said, you see Krishna? And that pracharak, he's very learned. He said, do you see him like a spurti, like very quickly? Or how do you see? He said, no, I see him like you. We sit and we talk together and things. He said, but if I don't behave like this, then I can't see him. So we don't know. You can't judge someone just upon their birth, just upon the way they look. Hiranyakashipu was the greatest demon in the universe. Everyone was terrified of him. But his son, Prahlāda, was such a great devotee. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he describes. Jepa pista Vaishnavera Jati Buri Kore Janma Janma Adama Jonite Duri Hare Bolo Hare Krishna. Anyone who thinks that a Vaishnava belongs to a particular caste, oh, this is a high-class Vaishnava, comes from a Saraswat Brahmin family. This person is born in a family of Pandas and Puri. He's a high-class Vaishnava. And this other person is born in a family of Yamana Malechas. They don't wear a dhoti. They're not dressed very nicely. This is a high-class Vaishnava. This is a low-class Vaishnava. Such a person is papista. He's a very, very sinful person. And what will happen to that person who has this mentality, trying to judge the Lord's devotees by their external birth, Janma Janya Andama, Joni Te Dubi Mari. That person is going to take birth in sinful wombs, in the womb of sinful persons, life after life. That'll be their sinful reaction. And Vrindavan Das Thakur says, Prahlāda Jehena Daicha Kapi Hanuman Ehi Mata Hari Dasa Nicha Jati Nam Bolo Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. He says, Prahlāda Jehena Daicha. Prahlāda was born as a demon. And Kapi Hanuman was a monkey. E Mata Haridasa Nicha Jati Nam. So similarly, Haridas Thakur, he was born in a low family. But if we try to judge people in this way, we're making a great offense. Just about a month or so ago, we were in the most powerful cyclone that hit Orissa, second most powerful in like 100 years. The front part of our building while we were there was ripped off, and the winds are coming in, and you could see roofs collapsing and parts of buildings flying in the air, and we didn't know we were going to live or die. At that time, we started chanting very loud. The next morning, after everything had settled down, I went out to see what had happened. You couldn't ride a bicycle. The streets were complete, all the power lines were down. They said there was something like 200,000 power lines that were knocked down. They turned off the power, fortunately, beforehand. Otherwise, thousands of people would have died. As it was, 64 people died. There were trees down. All the trees are knocked down. So many buildings, the roofs were ripped off. And so we went out walking around. And as I'm walking around, I saw a sadhu with a long white beard. And he saw me, and he kind of smiled and called me over. And so I went over to see him, and he said, hi. He said, my name's Father Joseph. He's a Catholic priest. Oh, nice to meet you, sir. And he offered me a chair, and we sat down, and we kind of bonded in a way that people do who survived a calamity like that together. We bonded, and he was telling me different things. I asked him very frankly, I said, what's it like for you being here in Puri? Is it hard? Do people abuse you because this is a Vaishnava place, a Hindu place, and you're a Christian? He said, no. He said, we come here to feed the poor people. We come here to help the poor, to give them some education and some jobs. And he said, everybody here is good. The Hindus are good. The Muslims are good. The Sikhs are good. He said, the only people who are bad are the Pandas, because they try to push down the poor people. He was a very nice man. I walked away thinking, God, he's so good. This is the way our attitude should be. He told me, he said, what I appreciated so much, he said, we don't try to convert someone. If they're a Muslim, we tell them, you stay Muslim, but be a better Muslim. If you're a Hindu, we say, stay as a Hindu, but be a better Hindu. I really liked that. I thought this is a very good thing for devotees in our movement. We were telling a story this morning in Uzbekistan about how one lady was coming to our classes regularly wearing a burqa. And she's doing namaz 5 times a day. She's a Muslim, but she's also chanting 16 rounds. She's a Muslim, but she's become a better Muslim. She's adding something. So I was very impressed with the father. And then after seeing him, I walked around to some different mutts, visiting some of our different friends, different Gaudiya Vaishnava friends. And I went to a place called the Sonagaranga Temple. The Sonagaranga Temple is a temple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's a very old temple, maybe 400 years old or something. It's a very unusual temple. It's the only temple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that I know of in the whole world where Westerners are not allowed inside. The same as the Jagannath Temple. We go there regularly and we do Harinam outside. Yeah. So anyway, that day I went there to see what had happened, and I was shocked to see a wall had collapsed in front of the temple, and there was a lot of damage to the structure. And I saw one of the priests cleaning things up. He looked like he was in shock. But as soon as he saw me, what did he do? We both just survived this calamity. He started yelling at me. Huh! Entrance forbidden, can't come inside. I thought, man, look, we almost died, you know. And so then I went to another temple just behind that called Bedi Hanuman. Bedi means chain. And Bedi Hanuman is a deity of Hanuman. He was chained up there by Lord Jagannath, personally. Lord Jagannath chained him up there. And Hanuman's job there is to keep cyclones away from Puri. So I wanted to kind of go and ask him a question, you know. What happened, you know? Actually, I've never been inside that temple before, although I've spoken some katha outside of it many times because they charge money to go inside. And it just rubs me the wrong way, so I never purchase a ticket to try to go inside. But that morning, there was no ticket seller there, and I thought, anyway, let me go and have a talk with Hanuman, see, you know, what are you doing, man? You didn't do your job, or what's going on? And as I tried to go into the temple, the priests came out and they saw me and they started yelling at me. Huh? Only Hindus allowed, you're not allowed inside. And I thought to myself, I don't mind that. That's my position. It's my birth. It's good for me. But I have more in common with these guys, with the devotees, these pujaris at the Gauranga temple and the pujaris of Hanuman, than I do with this Catholic priest. But the attitude of that Catholic priest was so much more saintly. I appreciated it so much more. And I thought, this is a very good lesson for all of us. We're coming and we're speaking about Gaudiya Vaishnavism. But then we have persons who are good and persons who are bad. And it's usually the way it works is someone who gives a lot of money, they're very good. And maybe their businesses, they're selling pornography or something, but if they give big donations, we like them. And if someone looks like a crazy fellow from the street or something, this person say, do you mind, maybe you can stay outside or something. We do like that. And sometimes it's difficult, I understand, not to do like that. But we should be very, very careful. And don't try to judge Vaishnavas by their birth. Otherwise, we may have a big, big problem on our hands. That Janme, Prabhu say, we'll have to take birth again and again in a very, very fallen family. We want to take shelter of the holy name. Jiva Goswami in Anucheta 209, he says that he speaks about how it is that we can chant the holy name. And he says, Milito pina labhyeta jivair ahamika parai. That someone who's very proud, they can't attain the Lord even if they encounter him. And he quotes Brahma-vaivarta Purana, Ahankara nivitan man keshavo nahi duraga. Ahankaro yutanam hi madhye parvata rasaya. That the Lord is very easily accessible for people who give up their false ego, their sense of I and mine. But for those persons who have this false ego, there's a mountain range between them and the Lord. They can't actually approach the Lord. He says that, therefore, if someone wants to approach the Lord through Nam Sankirtan, then they should be amani namanadena. They should feel themselves very, very fallen and very, very low. Haridas Thakur is known as a Namacharya. This is his mood. And think about Haridas Thakur. It's a very interesting thing. Haridas Thakur, according to Thakur Bhaktivinoda, in his previous birth was Lord Brahmā. He's known as Pitamaha, the grandfather of the universe. He's Jagat Karta. He's the creator of the universe. He's Adi Guru, the original guru. He's a big, important person. And it was Lord Brahmā who installed the deities of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra in the temple in Puri in Satya Yuga. But the same Lord Brahmā, now he's come and in the form of a Yavana Malecha. And they won't let him in the temple. He could have said, hey man, don't you know who I am? I'm the one who installed the deities here. Get out of my way, you little pipsqueak. He could have said like that. He could have told them, don't you know who I am? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and I, we're like this. We're tight. I'm the Namacharya. You can offer obeisances to me. He could have said like that, but he didn't do that. In Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that there at Siddha Bakul, Haridas Thakur spoke the following to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Amita Adama Tuni Adama Tarana Ubaye Sambanda E Patita Parvana Bolo Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare He says, I know who I am. Amita Adama. I am fallen. That's my identity. Amita Adama. And I know who you are. Tumi Adama Tarana. You're the deliverer of the fallen. Ubaye Sambande. This is our connection. I have a connection with God. I'm the most fallen. And He's the deliverer of the fallen. And so a lesson we learned from this verse today about Prahlāda Mahārāja, a lesson we learned from Haridas Thakur, teaching us as a Namacharya, he never denied his past. He didn't try to go to the temple and say, hey, get out of my way. You know, I distributed more books in the marathon than anybody else. I'm a big devotee. Let me inside. He didn't complain like that. Rather, he always considered himself the most fallen. Rupa Goswami describes this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Matulyo nasti papatma, naparadi chakaschana, parihare pilajjame, kim bruvi purushottama. O Purushottam, matulyo nasti papatma. There's nobody as sinful as I am. Nasti papa. Naparadi chakaschana. There's no one who's an offender like myself. Parihari pilajjame. I'm so bad, I don't even have any shame. I'm not even ashamed to admit how fallen I am. Kim bruvi purushottama. Well, what can I say? And this is how the devotees approach the Lord. This is how they submit themselves to the Lord. Jiva Goswami in Bhakti Sandarbha, he says there's two types of bhajan. Sakaitava bhajan and akaitava bhajan. Sakaitava bhajan means something we're trying to pretend and we're living in a fantasy. I've been to Mangal Artik every day for the last 4 years and I haven't missed even once. What about you? Fallen person. And I want to consider myself to be very, very important because of some external thing. But Jiva Goswami says that's not real bhajan. Real bhajan means that you remember, yeah, I used to wear jeans. Yeah, I did all these kind of bad things. That was me. And I don't deny who I am. And if I don't deny that, then that becomes a fuel for the fire of my lamentation, a fuel for my bhajan. My bhajan then becomes genuine. But if we go to the Lord, we go to Sadhu, Guru, Maharaj, it's your lucky day today. You know what? I'd like to take initiation from you. You're so lucky if you get me as a disciple, don't you know? I'm very educated. I'm very wealthy. I know 5 verses of Bhagavad-gītā. I'm practically an incarnation. I'm very handsome, and I'm also very, very humble. So you should, this is your lucky day. You're going to get to have a disciple like me. That's not how we approach the Lord. Rather, Sanatana Goswami teaches us that we approach by saying, Kayami. I don't even know who I am. I'm such a fallen person, but I don't forget where I came from. I don't forget my parents. I don't forget my birth. It doesn't mean that I go and eat off the plate of my parents, eat their remnants if they're not devotees. It doesn't mean that I go to them and I take advice from them. But I always remember them and I always respect them. I always remember where I came from. And this is the quality of a Vaishnava like Prahlāda Mahārāja. He really considers himself the most fallen, although he was the most exalted. So we'll stop there. Does anybody have any reflections, any thoughts? Something we said maybe you liked or reminded you of something else? And then we can have questions. Any reflections from anybody? Bonnie?
I like it when you talk about, of course, the mentality that everybody is better than us, because it's always nice to be reminded that it's not too hard when you lived in various places and you've done a lot of bad things, but it's easy to forget that. It's easy to forget that on a day-to-day basis, and it's nice to have it as a motivation.
Someone was a dumpster diver once, and then they became a big brahmin in the temple. Now they forget, yes, I'm a big person. But they forget where they came from. And maybe we're better as a dumpster diver in some ways. It has some humility.
It's so subtle, It's easy if you've been in the dumpster, to remember I've been in the dumpster. But if your sinful activity is very subtle and internal, it can be harder to remember that.
So like Kunti Devi, she prays, what is it? Vipada Shantu Tasasva Tattva Tattva Jagadguru. Give me these calamities again and again. She said, I have these problems. What are my problems? Jamaishvaya Shuta Shribir Edamana Mudapaman. My problem is not the problems. Problem's not that they tried to kill my sons in a house of lack. Problem's not they tried to give my son Beam a poisoned cake. That's not my problem. The problem is that I'm beautiful. The problem is I've got lots of money. The problem is I have a big education. The problem is that I come from a very aristocratic family. That's my real problem. Because then I become so proud.
Kind of same point how you said that we can think about the person in the street that he's so much more fallen than I am, but we can also think that he just didn't get the fortune of being exposed to this, but I have been given the opportunity to take to it, but I still haven't.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he didn't get the opportunity. I did. And they've been working on me for so long. Prabhuji's always trying to make me take prasadam and go to Mangalarti and chant my rounds, but I'm still so fallen.
And also about the grass, I like I've never heard this, attitude while chanting with the grass, that I'm not going to argue, and always...
I'm not going to make any excuses. It's from my heart.
Yeah, and I'm going to not mouse it with my mouth, but I'm going to with my heart. It's a very nice attitude.
That's real kirtan. Anything else from anybody? Any questions from anybody? Mataji? I love your laugh, by the way. Thank you very much. It was a great contribution today.
I was thinking about how it's really interesting this year that we have a presidential candidate who's a Vaishnava, and how it's really nice. She's been welcomed into the temples and amphithéâtres to do kirtan and to speak. And it's interesting, though, that she's from a different Vaishnava camp, but because she is a presidential candidate,
now she's okay.
But it's always been like that with different camps. Sometimes if you're from a different camp, you're pushed out.
What a nice comment. That's shockingly frank and honest. I love shockingly frankness. No, that's so good. I have to tell you a story in this regard. Janaka Rishi Prabhu was my Sankirtan leader when I joined. He's a Prabhupada disciple. He passed away a couple of years ago in a terrible auto accident in Hawaii. And he happened to be present. See, Tulsi Gabor, who you're talking about, she's initiated by Siddha Swarupananda, who's Prabhupada's disciple, but he's not an ISKCON devotee. So there's a story about Siddha Swarupananda that he left ISKCON, and at that time he started doing his own program. He had some followers and things, and there were a group of devotees, senior, like the biggest ISKCON swamis in the movement, leaders. They all flew to Hawaii with great expense. They flew to Hawaii to complain to Srila Prabhupada about Siddha Swarupananda. And there was a meeting, and Janaka Rishi Prabhu, my old friend, Sankirtan leader, he happened to be present in that meeting. He was kind of a young devotee, but he was a Sankirtan devotee. He was a really big book distributor, so he was allowed in there. And he was just standing there listening. And he said the devotees were going on and complaining and criticizing Siddha Swarupananda and saying that Prabhupada, he's a separatist, he's like this and like that. And they were saying so many things, and Prabhupada didn't say anything. He was just quiet. And they all, finally, after some time, they ran out of bad things to say about this other devotee. And then finally Prabhupada spoke up. And what did Prabhupada say? Prabhupada said, are they chanting Hare Krishna? And one of the devotees said, yes, Srila Prabhupada, they're chanting Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada slammed his fist down on the desk, and he said, then they are our friends. Anyone who's chanting Hare Krishna, they're our friend. We have our family, we have this Sangha here in Boston, very sweet Sangha, and we want to serve Srila Prabhupada's Sangha. But there's other Vaishnavas, and we love them, we respect them because they chant Hare Krishna. We don't mind that. But this is our family. They have their family. We respect that. Everyone has their particular family and Sangha. And to make progress in bhakti, we should be nishtha to our Gurudev. Not that we're just eclectic and run here and there and everywhere. We're nishtha, but at the same time, we love all saints. And not just people who chant Hare Krishna, but Christian saints and Muslim saints and all types, Sikh saints, all types of saints. Because the world needs more saints. And our movement is all about creating saints. So if we see someone who's a saint, shouldn't we be happy by that? So thank you for such a bold comment. Anybody, Prabhuji, have some comment?
It is not related to this context, but yesterday night I was reading Krishna book. And this is regarding Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Balaram is servitude God.
Yes.
So how we can understand when Arjuna was disguised as a sannyasi and when he was trying to kidnap Subhadra Devi, in that story, that Balaram could not understand that he was Arjuna. How we can understand these gods?
Right. Interesting thing, isn't it? That although Arjuna comes, dresses as sannyasi, Balaram, the Supreme Personality of God, who is sarvagya, it's one of the qualities of God, Bhagavan, he knows everything. He doesn't recognize Arjuna when he comes as a sannyasi. Similarly, Jiva Goswami and Gopal Champu, he comments about Balaram that when Pralambasura came, and he came as a cowherd boy, and he was carrying Balaram away later on, Balaram didn't recognize him. Balaram was thinking this is Krishna's friend. He was actually thinking that. And Krishna had to kind of wink at him and say, Balaram, the guy's a rascal, you should kill him. So Jiva Goswami comments in that regard, which I think the same comment applies in the story of Arjuna dressing as a sannyasi, that Balaram was covered over by Yoga Maya. Just as Krishna sometimes becomes covered over. We were speaking about this the other day. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his book Ragvartman Chandrika, he says that Krishna has two qualities. He's mugdha and he's sarvagya. Mugdha means bewildered. And sometimes Krishna becomes so bewildered, he doesn't just forget about creating the universe, he forgets his flute, he drops his flute when he sees Srimati Radharani. Sometimes Krishna, when Salya comes and cuts off the head of the fake Vasudev, Krishna thinks, my father died. His father didn't die. Sometimes he asks questions, he asks advice from Uddhava. What should I do? Yudhishthira Maharaj is doing this Rajasuya Yagya. Should we go there or should we go and kill these demons? I'm confused. What should we do? He becomes mugdha. And it's not an act. He's not just putting on a show. He actually is mugdha. He's actually bewildered. Balaram is actually bewildered. He actually didn't recognize Arjuna. Because if he did recognize Arjuna, if he did recognize Pralambasura, if Krishna wasn't bewildered sometimes, then where would the sweetness be? Is that okay? Thank you. Krishna Kun.
Just this discussion about judgmental attitudes and like that, it reminded me of a quote from Bhaktivinoda Thakur that you sometimes quote, and I wanted to read it because it's...
Yeah, please. Speak loudly though.
Okay, this is from Krishna Samhita. Sectarianism is a natural byproduct of the absolute truth.
Stop for a moment. Sectarianism is a natural byproduct of the absolute truth. As soon as you have the absolute truth, you're going to have sectarianism. It's a natural byproduct. It always happens. Go on.
When acharyas first ascertain and instruct the truth, it is not polluted with sectarianism, but the rules and regulations received through disciplic succession regarding the goal and the method of achieving it are changed in due course of time according to the mentality and the locale of the people. A rule that is followed by one society is not necessarily accepted in another society. That is why one community is different from another. As a community gradually develops more respect for its own standards, it develops hatred towards other communities and considers their standards inferior. These sectarian symptoms are seen in all countries since time immemorial. This is prominent among the neophytes and found to some extent amongst Madhyamadikaris. Amongst Uttamadikaris, however, there is no trace of sectarianism.
Sadhu, sadhu. Bhaktivinoda, in another place, he says that sectarianism is a great enemy of the truth. Our movement, we're meant to be faithful to Srila Prabhupada. We should be very faithful. That's how you develop bhakti, if you're not faithful to Guru. But at the same time, it doesn't mean we should be sectarian. That sectarianism is a terrible, terrible thing. Bhaktivinoda compares it to the forest fire. And the forest fire is a demon sent by Kamsa, according to Jiva Goswami, trying to separate the devotees from each other. That's the nature of the forest fire. The forest fire of sectarianism separates the devotees. Banamali Prabhu?
Prabhu, as a devotee, like how should we cultivate the habit or our attitude? Should we look at the faults of the society within us, like all this, or these are the faults, these are the faults? Or should we cultivate a devotional attitude or more some devotional qualities and try to exhibit as an example to others, rather than talking about all these different aspects?
You mean rather than complaining about Mr.
Yes,
Trump?
Exactly. All trying to find faults, this on that, and or should we focus more on cultivating devotional qualities and exhibit from ourselves, not discriminating something
Uh-huh.
So
Very
what
good.
do you think, because what will happen if you try to focus on the faults, then perhaps we might. I'm just thinking about my.
Yeah, yeah.
We might get distracted from the core or principle.
We follow Shastra. In Padma-Purana, when it describes the 10 offenses to the holy name, the 9th offense it says is Asharadani Vimuke Prishin Viti Yaschopadesha Śiva Nama Paradha, that we shouldn't try to give instructions or criticize people who don't have faith in us. We can't say anything to them. An interesting example in this regard is ISKCON Mayapur. That ISKCON Mayapur was always non-sectarian and didn't affiliate with any particular political group. But at a certain point, that some of the devotees thought, well, the BJP, those guys are really good. And we have a lot more in common with them than we do with other political parties. So some of the leaders affiliated themselves with the BJP, thinking this would be good for ISKCON Mayapur. And they actually supported certain politicians, and they gave talks and things on stage with them. And unfortunately, in that election, the BJP lost, and the Communist Party won. And then what happened, the Communist Party came in and they said, we thought you guys were sadhus. We thought you weren't affiliated with any political party, but now we see you're affiliated with the BJP, and they gave us a hard time like anything. In ISKCON Mayapur, we had so much property where they were going to build the temple. They started to do a foundation, which is kind of between the old temple we have and the Gurukula, if you know Mayapur. But we couldn't use that property because when the Communist Party came in to rule, they said they made some rules that a group is not allowed to have so much property by itself. And they aimed it at us because we were sectarian like that. It was something very detrimental for us. So I appreciate your point. We should not worry about trying to find fault and criticize everything. Just be a good example. That's a very beautiful thing. This is how Vaishnavas preach and how they teach, unless you're the temple president. And if you're the temple president, then you have the thankless task of finding fault with everybody, right? It's a fact. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he wrote in one letter to a disciple, he said, why do you want to take up the thankless task of finding fault with the devotees? He said, that's my job. And my job as a guru. Why do you want to take that up? It's a very nasty business. But if someone is a leader, they're the Sankirtan leader, the Bhakta leader, they're temple president, they're a GBC, they're a guru, that's their job. If they're a parent, it's your job to find fault with your children. But if you're very fortunate like me, and you don't have such a thing, then you don't have to worry about it. Huh? You leave all that up to the managers. And that's why I told Narendra Maharaj a year or two ago, I said, Maharaj, every day I get up and I offer my obeisances to all the leaders, and I offer a prayer. Dear God, please bless all the leaders in our movement. And dear God, please don't let me be one. Because it's a big headache. It's a huge headache. Why would anybody want to do that? So thank you, Prabhuji. We really appreciate your service and your
No, I'm telling you, Mama, I'm revealing my heart. It's very true. Many times you feel that it's better to be a simple devotee.
Yes.
Like just preach, chant, do some service, and that's better. Like, than getting into all this business of like.
Because it's his responsibility. If Shamrupa is supposed to come for do puja or something, he doesn't show up, or he comes an hour or two late, and you just say, anyway, it's okay. It's all right, it happens, you know. Then how are you going to manage the temple? You got to go, hey man, what's wrong with you? Why did you do this, you know? We got to work together. You're a rascal. You got to be a little strong with people. So devotees should understand that. Shamali?
Just the reflection that I had is that, you know, when you're talking about Haridas always saying he's the most fallen, we're talking about Prahlāda being the most fallen, and we're talking about how do we cultivate that mood and still feel good about ourselves. And I think, for me, I just kept reflecting on the fact that, you know, we are part and parcel of the divine, so we have all these qualities of the divine, yet we are so minute. And so if we keep thinking of ourselves as representing the divine in the sense that we see the hearts of everyone, we connect with the hearts of everyone, and live in that space where we acknowledge the God in all, then we can be in that spot where we remember just teeny, we have the spark, share it, be it, and no matter if you're the highest or the lowest, in whatever estimation you have in terms of being the temple president or just a simple sadhu, you have the ability to connect with the heart.
Thank you. What a beautiful comment. I really appreciate it. Krishna Kundi.
Thank you. I was actually just going to say something in a similar vein, because we looked at the effects of sectarianism for us as a society. You told a story about Mayapur, and Madhavananda said something, and I was thinking about it also has such a detrimental effect on our own bhajan, and it's all very easily avoided, like we were given the tools to avoid it very easily. If we just identify as Chaitanya Radhasamuni, Chaitanya Radhasamuni, Radhasamuni, and how Mahaprabhu said that in all the unlimited universes, everyone is my servant. So if we have the upadhis right, if we take off all the false upadhis and we just identify as tiny servant, all the servants of Mahaprabhu, and we can see everybody else like that, then
I have a reflection. Sorry. I have a reflection and a reflection also, that this is a difference between mechanical religion and spirituality. And Srila Prabhupada didn't want to establish mechanical religion. He didn't want to make, he poked fun at churchianity. People are just in an institutional kind of consciousness. And that kind of consciousness is when people have all their rituals and their numbered things they're supposed to do, and they're doing all those things, but they're not feeling it in the heart. And what's the value of that? If we're not actually feeling it in the heart, you may have the best grades in Bhakti Shastri. You may have done so many things, but you may have so much information. But if it hasn't been a change of heart, then all of that knowledge simply becomes pride. And what's the value of it?
May I make one more comment?
Yeah.
You said the quality of mercy is within your heart.
Quality?
The quality of mercy is within your
Uh-huh.
heart. So if we are extending the quality of mercy just by recognizing the other person, then we're really there.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes. Are you going to say something else bold? And
I'm not going to say,
you're going to get in trouble, you know.
just reflection, when you were talking about having the straw in your mouth
Uh-huh.
and how then you can't speak. It reminded me of a time when I was fortunate to do full-time book distribution when book distribution was still allowed in the airports, in the Long Beach Airport in North Carolina. And there was one day, it's a good opportunity to experience a lot of rejection and to have the ego down. You relieved a little bit of this puffy ego. And there was one day, I was speaking with someone who was looking through the book, and he said, you know, I really like this book, and I would like to have it, but something you said rubbed me the wrong way, and because of what you said, I'm not going to get this book from you today. And I was just like, I'm just not going to talk at all. Like Krishna's just showing me that like, I'm not going to distribute these books, and I just need to be quiet. And so I just was like, all right, I just motioned for someone to come over, and this really nice man. Sorry, I'm like, when you speak, it just melts my heart, and I just feel a
Hare
little
Krishna.
of your presence.
That's good. Don't be sorry.
But anyways, like this really nice, pious man came over. I'm like, I'm not going to speak or open my mouth. So I just gave him the book. He was looking through the photos, and he said, "Oh, this is a nice book. Are you accepting money for the book?" And I just nodded. And then he gave a donation.
That's wonderful. Thank you. It reminds me of a story I just read recently about Srivāram Maharaj, who was really into book distribution. He said one day they went out and they just decided, it's not what we say, so why don't we try not saying anything? And he went for a whole day distributing books without saying anything. And he distributed so many books and he got so many donations. He would just go out to people and put the book in their hand and kind of point to the heart, something, and kind of tap his, the pocket like, and they, oh, you want some money? And he would give something, and he didn't say anything about the books, and he sold so many books that day. It's not what we say, but it's how we do it. It's our heart. So thank you all very much. I know everybody has service. Thank you very much for being so kind to Krishna Kunda and I, and letting us come here and giving us your association. Our movement should be small groups of intimate sanghas, and we appreciate here the mood in Boston like that. Banamali Prabhu is working so hard, being so persistent, staying here for a while doing that. Thank you. Wow, direct hit. Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki, Gaur Premanande, Vamsa Kavaluru Vishchan, Kripa Sindhu Vyeva Cha Patitanam Pavana.